right, sorry about that cough. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Couch Warrior podcast. As always, I'm your host, Mike, and today we're going to be breaking down Road to UFC episode 4. It's also happening on Sunday, along with episode 3, Sunday morning, and it's the final card of this round of the tournament. So we're going to be breaking down 5 fights, a lot of really heavy favorites here. Okay parlay pieces, but I'm going to talk about the concerns with each and every one because there's a concern with pretty much each and every one. So we'll hop right into it. I'll give out my picks. I only have parlays from this side of this episode. I'll talk about it. It's mixed up with a few fighters from the third card, which is also on Sunday, the first one on Sunday. So I'll go over that at the end. Not too much here, just because of the chalk and just because of the way these matchups are. I'll talk about it in a sec. So we'll hop right into it. First fight up, we've got Kai Xiong versus Peter Danesoe. Kai, he's 5-0, undefeated. Don't have his age. And I've got team. That's incorrect. He's at Tiger Muay Thai now. Wanted to mention that. All right. And on the other side, you've got Peter Danesoe. He's 5-2-0. He's 22, super young still. 5'7", and I do believe he's at Team Quest Thailand. At least I couldn't tell otherwise. So for this one, now Zhang is a pretty heavy favorite. Let me tell you, he's a minus 350 favorite, and I can see why. I think that it comes down to his wrestling, right? That's probably what's going to win him this fight. You look at Danesoe, and Danesoe, he's actually pretty good on the feet. I really like his clinch game, and you can definitely see the Muay Thai style on his game, like especially in that clinch. And I really like it. I really like those knees, and I think overall his striking is actually pretty good. Not much on his own offensive wrestling, but his takedown defense from what I've seen is not great, and that's why I do think Kai is going to win this, and I do have him in a parlay. But I'd be careful. It's only a half unit parlay, and my concern here is, first of all, we only have 4 minutes of tape on Kai, so we're working with very little information. And from what I can see is his striking's okay, but he's very hittable, and I'm actually concerned that on the feet here, Danesoe might have an edge. And would it be the most shocking thing if he knocked him out? No, because they're probably going to be in the clinch a lot. If Kai is pushing him up against the fence trying to get takedowns, it's going to open up the clinch. And it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for Danesoe to land knees and hurt him in the clinch. I do think Kai has the wrestling to get it done. He's really good on the ground. I really like his game. Got great takedown defense of his own. Really nice back takes. He's going to have an edge here with the ground game. But I do give the striking edge to Danesoe. So should Kai be minus 350? I don't think so. I put him in a parlay for a half unit. It's just, we don't know, right? We don't exactly know because we're working with so little tape. So I'd be very careful if you're going to parlay him. Again, a half unit. I personally do like to back wrestlers against strikers. Normally, I really do prefer it because I think there's a big upside there. But for this one, you just have to be careful because of that lack of information that we have. So give me Zhang. I really like that he's at Tiger Muay Thai. That's great. I'm pretty sure he's young, but I don't have his age, so we don't exactly know. And the other guy, he's 22, is Danesoe, and he's going to be improving, and he's already decent. So I wouldn't count him out completely. Fighting out of Thailand, again, with that Muay Thai style. But I do like Kai to win here. And again, I do have him parlayed. And we're going to move on to the next fight. For this one, we've got Eperaim Ginting versus Daermisi Zhawupasi. Ginting, he's 6-0 undefeated. He's 5'5". Don't have his reach. Don't have his age. On the other side with Zhawupasi, he's also 6-0. He is 5'8", so he's going to be 3 inches taller, 68-inch reach. He's out of, let me double check real quick. Yeah, I've got him out of China top team. I didn't find otherwise. And Ginting, Bali MMA. So, look, we're working with only one video, which is a recurring theme with a lot of these fights where we have very little tape on these guys. But we're working with one video from Zhawupasi. But from what I've seen, the dude looks like a freaking beast. He looks like a beast. His ground game is so good. I don't love the striking as much. I don't think he's the best striker in the world. Probably has a decent way to go. Haven't seen a ton of it because the one fight that we do have, he spends almost the entire fight grappling. But we saw some of his striking, and it's all right. It's all right, but I really hope he goes straight for the grappling here because that's his thing. That's his edge. And he's very slick. Once he gets it down, he's very slick. Looking for those subs. He does have 5 submission wins. Now, turning to Ginting, he's fighting out of the Indonesian regional scene. If you've seen my other episodes, you know that I'm not very high on the Indonesian regional scene. Even Jeka Saragi, who came out of there last season, made it to the finals. People liked him so much, and I didn't. I thought he got, pretty lucky with some of his knockouts. Well, one of his knockouts against someone we're going to talk about later, but I didn't think he was that great, even though people were so high on him. And I don't think Ginting is that great either. And I really don't think he's going to beat Zhawupasi. Now, again, we don't really have too much info on Zhawupasi. And if you look at Ginting, he does have solid striking. I actually think I like it a little bit more than Zhawupasi. And he's got pretty good wrestling. And I've never seen his takedown defense tested. So that's a problem, right? How can I be too confident in Zhawupasi if I don't know if Ginting has great takedown defense or not? My educated guess is going to be it's not going to be enough. Just because he hasn't fought anybody of this level. He hasn't fought anybody with grappling like Daermisi. So I think Daermisi Zhawupasi is going to win this fight. I think he's going to probably... how does he do it? Probably get a sub. He'll probably submit him, but I wouldn't be shocked if maybe it was ground and pound or something. I don't think we're necessarily going to go to a decision here. I do think Zhawupasi finishes inside the distance, and he's going to be my pick. I do have him in 2 parlays, but it's a total of a 1-unit stake. I'm going to give out the parlay at the end of the show. So don't go too crazy. I do think he's a very, very good fighter. I love his ground game, and hopefully that striking will continue to improve. But I wouldn't go too nuts again because we're working with little information. All right. Next up, we've got Windry Patilima versus Shin Haraguchi. Now, Patilima, he's 8-0 undefeated. Don't have his age. He's 5'6", and let me double check if I have a different camp. He's at Studio 540 over in California. Now, Haraguchi on the other side, he is 5-0 undefeated. He's 24, very young still, and he's also 5'6". Now, first of all, I don't think Patilima is actually 5'6". I think he's bigger, and he also has been fighting at welterweight on the regionals. So he's used to fighting guys much bigger than him. Shin here, he's going to be much smaller. So I think that's going to be a really important thing here. And one of the reasons that even though I'm very, very, very high on Shin Haraguchi, this might be a difficult fight because Shin, he's an extremely high-level wrestler. Very high level, very good at it, does it in all of his fights. He's got a win over the guy fighting Sasu. I'm blanking on the name now in the first episode of the Road to UFC this year. And he's just very dominant on the ground. Very dominant. Bunch of ground and pound TKOs. He's a very good grappler. On the feet, he's all right. Nothing crazy, but wrestling is his game. Now, Patilima, he's also a pretty good wrestler. And I haven't seen his takedown defense tested, which is, again, makes me hesitant to really go crazy on Shin. Because Shin Haraguchi is going to be smaller. Patilima's used to fighting guys much bigger because he's fighting at welterweight, and he's normally fighting guys even bigger than him. And from what I've seen so far, he seems like one of the better guys coming out of the regional scene. So because of all that, and because he also is a good wrestler, not nearly on the level of Shin, but he's also a good wrestler, it makes me hesitant because maybe that size is going to equalize some things, you know? It very well might. His striking's okay, nothing crazy either. I do still think Shin wins. To me, he's just a much higher level guy and a guy with a much, much higher ceiling. If he starts to really advance that striking on top of that wrestling, I think he's going to have a very good future. I personally think he should probably leave the lightweight weight class. I think this is a little bit too high for him, and I think he might struggle physicality-wise. But in this particular fight, I do still think he's going to win. I don't think this Indonesia regional scene is enough to really prepare Patilima for someone like Shin Haraguchi. So I think Shin's going to win, but I only have him in 1/2 unit parlay, and that's all I'm going to do with it. I wanted to go crazy with him, but after I did more tape and after I thought about it, I decided I'm going to play it small. Gonna parlay him, but nothing too crazy. I do think he wins by knockout, but his knockout prop is -130. And again, I've been saying it in all my videos. I'm very tempted to play fight goes when I have two guys who are good wrestlers. Now, here it's rough because I don't know what Patilima's takedown defense looks like. I have no idea. Fight goes is plus 250. I am tempted. I don't know if I'm going to get to it. Make sure you're following me at Couch Warrior Pod on Twitter. That's where I post my bets as soon as I make them. And it's all on my Bet MMA page as well. I actually haven't posted my parlays just yet, but I'm going to put everything up probably tonight or tomorrow morning. So I like Shin Haraguchi here. Think he's going to out-grapple him and probably get a ground and pound TKO, but it's at like minus 130, which I don't like. So Shin's the pick, and we're going to move on. All right. Talk about very little tape. So next up, we've got Chang Ho Lee versus Rana Rudra Pratap Singh. Lee, he's 7-1-0. He's 29 years old, 5'8", and let me double check his camp. I've got him at Beast BJJ now, so it doesn't seem like he's at Extreme Combat anymore. And, excuse me, on the other side with Singh, he's 11-1-0. Don't have his age. He's 5'10", going to be 2 inches taller, and we're going with I don't know if Warrior Cove is in India. I didn't check, but based off of his Instagram, I do have him training in India. And now in terms of the matchup, so Singh has that one loss. It's against a good opponent. It's Ali Guliev in Brave, but he got just dominated there. It only lasted like 2 minutes, and he ended up losing by knockout, but it was not a good look. Now, Guliev, great fighter, very solid, but just not a good look to see him beat up like that. And then his most recent fight, this one, the Harsh Mishra, man, he got that triangle choke because he was on his back and he got taken down so easily. So easily he got taken down. His takedown defense sucks. Now, he does have a bunch of submission wins, 9 of them, but it's awful. It's just so bad. So for me, I can't even consider Singh. And of course, I started looking at Lee right away because I'm like, if this guy can wrestle and if he's a decent striker, minus 350 probably makes sense here because Singh's record looks beautiful, but that takedown defense, man, and I don't think he's that great on the feet either. So I don't see any upside in Singh at all. Now I could end up looking stupid, but I just personally don't. He's fighting out of India, fighting a lot on the Indian regional scene, other than Brave, obviously. But you know, I don't like to really shit on the Indian regional scene because my guy Ansho Jubli came out of there. And while his opponents weren't the best, I mean, he looked fantastic. So it's hard for me to really know how good their regionals are. I think he might be a one-off, though. I don't think their regionals are that good. And on the Lee side, we're working with one video. We're working with the 2019 video. He has been training since then, actively. He has fought since then. And I have to think that he's gotten better. But even if he hasn't, even if we're working with the same exact fighter from 2019, I don't think he's anything special. But I do truly think he's going to win this fight. His own takedown defense isn't the best from what I've seen in that fight, but Singh hasn't shown me that he's a great wrestler. And he's shown me that he's got bad takedown defense. And what does Lee do? He wrestles pretty good. He'll go for it constantly, and he's a good wrestler. Again, his striking, I don't have much to work with. He didn't strike much in that fight. It was mostly a grappling match in that 2019 fight that we're working with. But personally, I think it will be better. I really don't rate Singh. And the more I watched, the more I was like, what is this? And how is he 11-1-0? And how does he have 9 submission wins? He's fighting bums. But most of these guys are. Most of these guys are fighting bums. So to me, Singh just looks like he's really bad. And his big hole is what Lee is good at. So I did put Lee in a parlay, just one, for a half unit. And again, I'll give out my parlays and my parlay pieces at the end of this video. And I'm not going to continue to beat a dead horse. I don't see a path for Singh unless he gets taken down and then does one of his submissions off his back, which I don't think is going to work on a guy like Chang Lee. So we're gonna move on to our main event. So here we've got Wan Bin Ki versus Bahatebole Batebolati. So Ki, he's 7-8-0, 32 years old, 5'11" with a 73-inch reach, training out of Korean Zombie MMA. Batebolati, he's 7-1-1. He's 25. He's going to be 7 years younger, same height, 1 inch shorter. And let me check if I've got a different camp for him. I don't. So we're going with China Top Team. I actually don't think I was able to find his Instagram, so I wasn't able to confirm or deny that. But for me here, so I remember Wan Bin Ki because he fought last year, right? In the road to UFC. He fought against Jekka and he fought against Jinosuke Kashimura. So Kashimura is actually a very good wrestler. I think he was like 20 years old during that fight. So he was young and very green. I think he was like 4-1-0 going in. And he never stood a chance. Ki won that fight dominantly, defended the takedowns except for one. But when he got taken down, he got up immediately. And I really like what I see from Ki. I know some people don't like him very much, especially because he got knocked out by Jekka. But you watch that fight back. Was Jekka winning that fight? No, he wasn't. He wasn't winning that fight. And even like the striking exchanges where he found success, he was just working with these flurries and he would just find like a one-off shot. And then eventually he got a knockout. What was it? It was just a big right hand. It wasn't anything crazy technical. He just caught him and knocked him out. I'll give credit where credit's due. That's impressive. But for me, it wasn't like I watched that fight and I was like, wow, Ki sucks. Jekka's amazing. I think Ki just got caught. And I think if you run back that fight 10 times, Ki wins more than he loses. Excuse me. But in this fight with Bahatebole, so his last two fights are in LFA, which I like. I like to see guys fight at LFA. It's one of the better regional scenes, and they tend to give good matchups. And the guys he's fought are also pretty good. Ryan Leninger, nothing special, but he did win that fight, and it's a decent win. And he lost to Harris Talunzik, which I think is okay. Harris, I know some people don't love him, but he's a really good wrestler. And Bahatebole, he's a wrestler. So he lost that because he wasn't the better guy on the ground, and he got out-grappled. He actually did get his own takedowns here and there, but overall, Talunzik was definitely the better grappler in that fight. My thing with Bahatebole is, even though he's a good wrestler, he only did it for like one round against Leninger, and then it was just all on the feet. And I don't love his striking. I don't think he's that good of a striker. I think Ki's a much better striker. Personally, I think he's a better striker. And Ki can also wrestle. He can also grapple. Who's better at wrestling? I can't tell you. I personally don't know. But what I can tell you is I think that Ki is the better striker. I think he's got great takedown defense. He's also a wrestler. So I do favor him here. The line isn't my favorite. It's, let me tell you. They do it so weird on Bet Online that I have to. Here we go. -180 on Bin Kim. Ki, I don't know why they wrote Kim on Bet Online. And then Bahatebole is +150. I don't hate it. I don't hate the dog shot on Bahatebole, but I personally can't do it because I don't like his striking at all. Really don't like it. Think he's too hittable. And if he can't out-wrestle Ki, I think he's going to lose this fight pretty clearly. Now, if he ends up being the better wrestler, he's very live. He's very live. But the thing is, I haven't really seen Ki out-grappled. Haven't really seen it much. In the Kashimura fight, again, Kashimura is a pretty good wrestler. He is 20 and green, but dude couldn't take him down, and when he did, he could not hold Ki down. So I think that Ki's going to have enough counter-grappling to be able to keep it on the feet. And on the feet, I like him better. He's got 11 knockout wins. He has been knocked out 5 times himself. Not a good look at all. And definitely not a good look that Jekka, who I don't rate highly at all, knocked him out clean with a right hand. So those things are concerning, but Bahatebole is not necessarily the best knockout artist either. He does have 4 knockout wins, but again, to repeat myself, I don't think he's a good striker, and he's very hittable. Ki, 60% striking defense. Again, we're working with not too many minutes in the UFC cage, so those stats might be a little bit skewed, but I do think he's more defensively sound than Bahatebole is on the feet. I think he's just more skilled there, and I'm going to have to pick Ki. Personally, I'm going to pass in terms of betting. I'm not going to play a side because Bahatebole is 25. He's still very young. He's probably still improving. And if he has that wrestling, and if the striking has gotten better, he could be live. I don't think so. Don't think he's going to win. But he's live enough where I'm going to stay off of this one. But Wan Bin Ki will be my pick. I know this video was relatively short. Really didn't have too much to talk about because we're working with so little information. And we're working with these gigantic favorites. And how are we supposed to back a -350 when we have one video? We have to be very confident, and we have to see a big hole. So can't really do too much with this card in particular. But here's what I have. So I've got Zhu Rong from the previous card, along with Sanguk Kim, also from the previous card. And the final leg there is Shin Haraguchi. That parlay came out to -100. I played it for a half unit. And then I have Kim once again from last card. And I have him parlayed with Zhawupasi from this card and with Lee from this card as well. That came out to +115. And I put a half unit on that one as well. And then I have one other chalky parlay. I've got Sunguk Choi from the second card. I've got Rate Sayura from the first card. I've got Zhawupasi and Sim Kai from this card. And that's +118. I put a unit on that one. So that's all I've got. Don't think I'm going to do much else. In terms of props for this card, let me run through them real quick and see if I like anything for you guys. I don't have anything written down, so nothing I liked too much when I was running through the tape, but I'll look at it real quick. Wanbin Kim by points, don't hate it. Bahatebole by points, +315. Don't hate it either if you like Bahatebole here. But that's a pass for me. What else we got here? Okay, Chung Ho Lee versus Singh. Let's see. Fight goes is +250. Nah. Singh by sub +550. Nah. I don't like anything here enough. Chang Ho Lee by points is all right because he's going to wrestle, but from what I've seen with Singh, I think he's pretty bad, so I'm not going to touch that. Then Shin Haraguchi, really not much here. I already spoke about it during the video. Possible play on fight goes. KO also makes sense, but it's -130. And I feel like this fight very well might go the distance with two wrestlers. And last, we got Sim Kai. Let me check what we've got here. Sim Kai by sub +115. I think that's probably how he wins, but not enough meat on the bone for me to play that. So not going to be touching any props here, I don't think. So that's it, guys. That's UFC Road to UFC 4. I've now broken down all 4 cards. They're all on my channel. And good luck with all of your bets this weekend. Good luck with your bets for UFC next weekend. And I'll see you guys next week for when I break down the UFC card. Thank you guys all once again, and good luck and peace out.